All right, let's get into it. If you're ready to completely transform your study habits and really crush it in college, you are in the right place. Today, we're going to build a full toolkit to help you study smarter, not harder. Let's dive in. So, does this look familiar? You're juggling lectures, readings, assignments, trying to have a social life. It is a lot. That feeling of just being totally swamped by information, that's pretty much the universal college experience, isn't it? And look, you're not imagining it. You're not alone in feeling that way. College Info Geek just nails it with this quote. Our brains, these limited human brains of ours, they just aren't built to handle the constant fire hose of information college throws at us. It's basically a setup for feeling overwhelmed. So, what's the default move for most of us? We fall back on what we've always done, right? Just rereading our notes over and over and over. But here's the hard truth. All the research shows this is super passive. It only leads to this flimsy surface-level memory, not the deep, connected understanding you actually need to do well on exams. But the good news is there is a much, much better way. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build your study toolkit from the ground up, starting with a secret weapon you get on day one. Then we'll get into 6 scientifically proven strategies, and finally, a system to manage the whole thing. Okay, first up, let's talk about what is probably the single most underrated, most powerful document you will get in your entire college career. Yep, the syllabus. I'm serious. It is not just some boring schedule of readings. It is the cheat code for the entire course. It tells you exactly what the professor cares about, exactly how you're graded, and everything that's coming. It's your secret weapon. So, how do you actually use this cheat code? It's pretty simple, a 3-step process. First, look at how you're being graded and set a real goal for yourself. Second, pull out your calendar and immediately map out every single due date and exam. You'll see your crunch times right away. And third, and this is key, prioritize your effort based on how much each thing is worth. Think about it. Is that tiny 2% homework assignment worth an all-nighter? No way. But that 20% project? Yeah, that's where you put your energy. All right, so you've got your map for the semester. Now let's stock your toolkit with the real heavy hitters. 6 powerful, evidence-based learning strategies that come straight from cognitive science. These are absolute game changers. First up, spaced practice. This basically means you have to officially break up with the all-night cram session. For good. Instead, you're going to plan shorter, more frequent study sessions spread out over a few days, or even a few weeks. It feels so much less intense, and it's way, way more effective. And here's the really cool reason why it works. That break between sessions is everything. It actually gives your brain time to forget a little bit. So when you come back to the material, the act of relearning it is what strengthens the memory and pushes it into long-term storage. Next in the toolkit is retrieval practice. This one is the total opposite of just passively rereading. It's the active and, sometimes difficult process of pulling information out of your brain. You can think of it like quizzing yourself before the professor does. So, how do you actually do this? Just put your notes away and try to write down everything you remember about a topic, or sketch out a diagram from memory. My personal favorite is trying to explain a concept out loud, even if it's just to your wall. And listen, if it feels hard, that is a great sign. It means your brain is actually doing the work. It's working. Okay, strategy number 3, elaboration. Think of this as playing detective with your notes. It's all about constantly asking yourself how and why. How does this connect to that thing we learned last week? Why is this detail so important? You're not just making a list of facts, you're building a web of knowledge. When you force yourself to connect those dots, you start to see the big picture, the relationships between ideas. But even better, it immediately shows you where the gaps are in your own understanding, those concepts you thought you knew, but oops, can't quite explain yet. Our 4th strategy is interleaving. This is all about mixing it up. So instead of studying one topic for 3 hours straight, which is called blocking, you switch between a few different but related topics or types of problems all in one study session. And just like retrieval practice, this is going to feel a little harder at first than just hammering away at one thing. But that extra effort is exactly what's training your brain to tell the difference between concepts and to pick the right strategy for the right problem. It builds the mental flexibility you need on an exam. Number 5 is a really simple one, but it is so powerful. Concrete examples. Look, our brains love concrete stuff. They're not big fans of abstract theories. So your job, every single time you encounter a new, floaty, abstract idea, is to nail it down with a specific, concrete example. It can be from the textbook or one you just make up yourself. And finally, our last strategy is a powerhouse: dual coding. This is like giving your brain two chances to remember everything. All you do is combine words and visuals. So when you read a description, try drawing a little sketch of it. When you see a confusing graph, try explaining what it means in your own words. What's happening here, the science behind it, is you're literally creating two different pathways in your brain, one verbal, one visual, that both lead to the same idea. That integration makes your understanding so much stronger and way easier to recall later on. Okay, so you've got the blueprint, you've got the strategies, but where does all this stuff go? That brings us to the final part of our toolkit: building an external system to manage it all. The concept of a second brain sounds kind of sci-fi, but it's really, really simple. It's just about getting information out of your head and into a trusted external system that you can access anywhere. It's not some AI copy of your mind. It's just a digital archive for your notes, your ideas, and your tasks. And why would you do this? Well, for one, it frees up so much mental energy. Instead of using your brain power just trying to remember stuff, you can actually use it to think and solve problems. You'll be more organized, you'll be way less stressed, and over time, you build this incredible personal knowledge archive where you can connect old ideas and spark new ones. Now, if you're wondering how on earth to organize all this, a super simple way to start is something called the PARA method. Just imagine four main digital folders: P for projects, which are your current assignments; A for areas, like your classes or clubs; R for resources, for any topic you're interested in; and A for archive, where you put everything else when it's done. That's it. Simple. And inside this system, you can use awesome tools like mind maps to brainstorm ideas, or concept maps to show how different ideas are related. These are perfect examples of that dual coding strategy we just talked about, right? You are visually organizing your thoughts and making those connections really, really clear. Whew, we have covered a lot: decoding your syllabus, 6 powerful learning strategies, and building a system to manage it all. That's your toolkit. But now comes the most important part: actually using it. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Don't get overwhelmed and try to do all of this tomorrow. Just pick one. Which one of these strategies are you going to put into practice this week? Because at the end of the day, the smartest students aren't the ones who just know all the tricks. They're the ones who actually use them.